All right. Well, welcome to KPC, Kunzang Choling, and hello to anyone online watching. Welcome to Saturday's meditation. So, before we begin, we always want to establish the proper motivation for being here today. So, why are we here? Why are we coming together to meditate? And so we want to take a moment to generate that compassion in our mind that whatever we do today or whatever we learn today, that we dedicate that for the benefit of all beings. So let's take a moment to just establish that in our minds before we begin. All right. So, like last time, hi, welcome. Oh, got a little visitor. Are you here for the meditation?
Yes.
Yeah, you can come sit wherever. Yeah, sure. If you want to sit, and then there's a handout there in the blue folder right there. If you want to both take one. So I was just talking about before beginning meditation, we always want to start with the proper motivation. So establishing that compassionate intention that whatever we learn here today or this practice that we do together, that it benefits all beings. So, and then we're going to start, we always traditionally start with a Tibetan prayer to open our practice. And so you can read along as best as you can, or try to chant it in Tibetan if you'd like. So we'll do that 3 times together, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here. Again, do your best or you can just listen along. Organ yugi nucham sam Pemage sardompola Yasan shogi nudrumne Pemajune shesudra Koryu kandrom mampokor Keki jesu dag drupki Jinjilop shir sheksu so Guru pema sedihum Organ yugi nucham sam Pemange sardompola Yasan jogi no drumne Pemajune jesudra Kordu kandrom mampokor Keki jesu dag druki Jinjilop shir sheksu sol Guru pema sedihum Organ yugi nucham sam Pemange sardompola Yasan shogi no drumne Pemajune shesudra Kordu kandrom mampokor Keki jesu dag drupki Jinjilop shir sheksu sol Guru pema siddhihum. All right. So, in this class today, we're going to be doing 3 different types of meditation. The first one to stabilize our minds, and then also a meditation to open our heart as well. So the first meditation we're doing is called Shamatha meditation, or calm abiding meditation. And each week we always want to define what is meditation. And we hear about it a lot. We maybe hear that it's good for us, or offers us relaxation, or lowers our blood pressure. But what's the actual purpose of meditation? Meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's relaxed and stable and open. And it trains our mind to be this way, and also wakeful and alert. So meditation really allows us to have that space between action and reaction. It helps us balance our emotions. It helps us to deal with anything that comes our way in life, and we can respond in a more with a more spacious and stable mind. So it can be really important, especially for these times we're living in. Um, when our mind is too agitated, when it's too inflamed, um, it's hard for us to, our mind really controls us rather than the other way around. But our mind is also a muscle. So just the way that we would, could work out our body, we can also train our mind. We can use that muscle again and again. We can train our mind to have more spaciousness. Meditation is also very important for us here on the Buddhist path because it's the first step in awakening our bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So if our mind is so full, so busy, so agitated, so inflamed, how can we possibly think of the benefit of others? How can we possibly think of caring for others or caring um, about the welfare of all sentient beings? So it's very important for us on our path. So we are just, going to rest our attention on our breath. So that's what this meditation is all about. Our attention is on the breath. Today, we're going to focus on the breath, but on your own time, you can also focus on, say, a flower or a stone or maybe a small statue. But we'll take a comfortable seat. So whether you're on the floor or on a chair is no problem. We just need to make sure we have a straight spine. So we don't want to be hunched over. We don't want to be too extended back. We have a relaxed spine, and our shoulders are back, our elbows are back. And then the traditional posture of your hands is the right hand over the left with the thumbs touching like this in your lap. If it's easier in a chair, you can also put your hands like on your thighs. And again, we're just going to focus on the breath. We're gazing down towards the floor, so we're not looking around the room. We're focusing our gaze as well. So almost like we're drawing a line from the tip of our nose down and picking a point on that line to rest our gaze. So our eyes do stay open in this meditation, but again, they're relaxed, a relaxed gaze. And then we're just going to breathe naturally. So we're not counting our breath. We're just breathing as naturally as possible. It might take a few deep breaths to get to that natural rhythm. And we also just keep our mouth slightly open, so it's just relaxed, like a very neutral position. You can, like if you have that space, you actually can do that by putting the tip of your tongue in the back of your front teeth, almost like you're saying the letter L, and just letting a little bit of breath through. And again, anytime a thought arises, we're just going to gently bring our attention back to the breath, whether it's an external distraction or an internal thought. We just gently bring our attention back to the breath. So just like a bubble that rises to the surface of a pond, we just let it pop, let it go. And it's not a bad thing to have a thought. Our meditation isn't lost by having a thought. It's when we go down the road with that thought, when we inspect it, when we judge it, when we say, I'm not doing a good job, or, oh, I'm so distracted. We just gently bring ourselves back to the breath. So again, it's a very light attention on the breath. We're not thinking, okay, I'm breathing in and out. Just a light attention on the breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of your breath. All right, so we're going to start with a bit of a warm-up. You always want to start with where you're at. So it's never advised if you're new to meditation to start you do like 45 minutes or an hour or something. So you want to start with like a minute, 2 minutes. Keep building that until you feel some stability in your mind, until you feel less distracted. So I'm going to do a timer for us for 2 minutes as a warm-up, and then we'll do a slightly longer one. So I have my timer here. for 2 minutes. All right, so that was our warm up. So we're just going to try a little bit longer. If you feel like your mind is really busy today, you can also use, visualization to help. So you can imagine you're kind of cutting your thoughts and returning to the breath, or picking up your thought and tossing it out and returning to the breath. So if any of these things help, sometimes our mind's just all over the place, and we need to just cut it and return to the breath. So we'll try again, and again returning to that gossamer thin attention on the breath. So I'll try. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to move into our second meditation, which is called Tonglen meditation. So now that we've created some spaciousness in our mind, we're going to really work on developing our hearts. The practice of Tonglen, or giving and receiving, is done to develop our compassion and our ability to be present for our own suffering and the suffering of others. So this practice trains us to use the energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to the suffering of others and to transform that into well-being. So in this practice, we're actually imagining that we're taking on or taking the suffering of others into ourselves and sending them all of our happiness. It's a mental exercise. And in the immediate present, we're not, meditating and taking on their suffering. It won't remove their suffering, but by doing this practice, we slowly cease to cherish ourselves over others. So this is really a practice of equanimity, of upholding all sentient beings. So this will, again, develop a stronger wish to benefit others. So we're going to stay in our sitting meditation posture. Is that music okay for you guys, or do you want it down just a little bit? Is it okay? Sure. Okay. That's a mantra playing. So our teacher, Jetsunma, singing. So sitting in meditation posture. So we'll stay in our posture. We're going to start by actually imagining one or two beings in front of us. This could be, a parent, a sibling, a child. This could be a pet. Someone that you feel immediate. You can immediately feel compassion towards. Someone that you have a lot of love towards. And whose suffering might particularly touch you. Maybe it's you feel for this person. It's easy for you to feel compassion for this person. So imagining that they're in front of us, we contemplate any of their suffering, their sadness, and we really imagine that we put ourselves in their place. So we're standing in their shoes, and we're really trying to imagine what their experience must be like. And then in that way, we're giving rise to compassion. So we're cultivating in our heart the fervent wish to relieve all their suffering, all their pain, all their sadness, all their sorrow, and really securing their happiness. So we're bringing our attention to our breath, because we do this with the breath. So as we breathe in, so on the inhale, we're going to visualize as you inhale through your nose, you take in all the causes and conditions of their suffering, of their unhappiness, actually taking that in the form of like a dark smoke, like a black smoke. And we're imagining that they become completely free of all this suffering. And as you exhale, as you breathe out, you're visualizing that you're sending and they are receiving all of your positive and loving qualities, all conceivable sources of enduring happiness. And you're imagining, as you're breathing that out, as this really bright, radiant, pure light. And it's bringing them just limitless joy and happiness. So you might think, as you breathe in, may you be free of suffering. And then as you breathe out, may you be happy. So we're going to try this for a few minutes. And again, maybe there's one person in particular, or you could try one person and then switch to another, or maybe you have your parents in front of you, or two people. So again, anyone you feel, you easily feel compassion for. So we'll try this meditation for a few minutes. Okay. All right. So we're going to repeat this again, but this time, which can be a little bit harder, we're going to visualize one or two people who you feel intense anger or aversion towards. So we are going to try this again, same exercise. And again, we're really trying to expand our loving concern and our compassion towards all beings. So we might feel like, I don't want to take on this person's suffering. I don't want to take this, I don't want to give them any of my joy or my happiness. But slowly, as we practice this, we kind of chip away at that feeling in our heart and realize that all beings are trying to be happy. Everyone's trying to be happy. Even if they're doing things that are maybe harming others, they're still trying to secure their own happiness in life somehow. So having kind of recognizing that we can, even people we feel extreme aversion towards, we can even come from that place of, wow, they're really suffering, or they're really going through it, that they're doing this, or they're showing up in this way, or maybe it's someone that's hurt you, or again, that you have intense anger for. This slowly increases our scope and our capacity to love others, and to be able to put to have that same feeling, develop that same feeling for all beings. So including all beings in that feeling of love and that kind of equanimity in our heart. So we're going to try this and try this for 2 minutes. And just do your best. So we're just going to do another minute and we're going to expand this feeling out beyond the one person and try to visualize, try to include all people for those that you feel maybe anger or aversion towards or any sort of dislike. So expanding that group out to a much larger group for one more minute. So again, as this meditation deepens and our heart opens, we can gradually increase the scope of visualizations to include larger groups of people until all of our loving kindness and compassion embrace all beings. So we'll finish today with a guided meditation. It's a short guided meditation called the Light Expansion Prayer, and it's written by our teacher, Jetsunma. And I'll just read through it as we... And then after that, we'll finish with our closing prayers, which are on the back sheet there. So, but this one you can just listen along. All right. Let us become still. Take a deep breath And let it out slowly. And again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And all the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. And the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth. All nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. So with that, we will do our dedications, which are on the back side of that handout. And after we do any sort of group practice here or meditation, we always want to dedicate our energy, our intention of this practice to the benefit of all beings. So the virtue and the blessing of doing this today. So it's on the back side here. I'll put it up on the screen. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for those watching online. We do this every Saturday at 11. And we also have a special program every Sunday that starts at 11:30. So through the blessing of our teacher, Akonamo, she has invited Kempo Karze, which is our resident Kempo here, to teach and do meditation on Sundays at 11:30. There's also a Q&A, so it's a great time to ask questions or come with any questions that you have. And then we do a short group practice, and we end with some tea and usually some sort of sweet treat at the end. So that's tomorrow at 11:30, and that's every Sunday. And if you are local, you can come join us, or you can also watch online. So I'm going to end the live stream now. Thank you for